Assalamu alaikum, everybody. It's great to see you all today. I don't have my daughters around. I've made it a point to close the door and even lock it. The topic I want to discuss today is rather serious and obviously not much to do with children. I'd like to discuss sexual harassment at work. Why the need to do it right now? Very recently, as you might all be aware already, there's a video from a local bank in Pakistan that has gone viral, where a employee of the bank gropes a woman. Now this went viral, and a lot of people took it up. There are a lot of good people out there who understand what exactly it is being a victim of something like this. And once it was taken up seriously by everybody, eventually the culprit, got arrested. Um, what I want to start off my discussion with is we blame the victim, and there's no other words, no other way of saying it. I mean, looking at the various comments, and I'm sure you can independently look at it. One thing, I'm not putting up the video. I really don't want to publicize the victim more. So you can look for the video online. It's almost everywhere. The real thing is that the comments from people like us, everyday people, they were kind of shocking. I mean, there are people who commented, why did not the lady react? Oh, she must be complacent. Oh, she must be enjoying this. She's a part of this. We don't know the details, so we should keep quiet. Um, and I think that is the real problem. This is one of those instances where, I for one would definitely say we can't blame the government. There are very strong and applicable ordinances that have already been placed by governments, Pakistani governments, whether it be the current one or the previous one. But hey, we have policies which safeguard the interest and the well-being of women in the workplace. We have those policies. If you visit, for example, the website for the Federal Ombudsman for you know women rights at work or workforce harassment against women and all that, you will find a lot of cases from reputable institutes that have been brought forward and certain resolutions have come out of it. Then there are obviously companies that don't report it, but they do take care of it. Having said all of that, the real problem lies with our mindset. Having been in the profession of human resource management for like almost 20 years, honestly, I tell you, a lot of people out there in our market in Pakistan are simply working because they have no other choice. When you look at women, for example, there are lots of women who are again forced to work because again they have no choice; they have to work. Now, having said that, the next chapter is they don't have many options. So this lady starts working in a bank, let's say at a reception, and having gone to a lot of banks myself, I can tell you the way that the ordinary people treats that lady who's at reception, it's deplorable. And there's nobody at the bank trying to tell that person to behave himself. My own sister was, when she was doing a house job, she was working at one of the government hospitals, and she would tell about these patients. They were literally dying on their deathbeds, and they would try to, sneak a touch, from the doctor or the nurse, females. Uh, I mean, I don't know where this kind of frustration comes from, and maybe that is something that society can address. But right now, the main thing is that listen, not everybody who's not being responsive or immediately not calling a person out and getting him beat up by other people, not everybody who doesn't do that is complacent with the situation. People have their own reasons. The first step, if we really want to improve our society, the first step would be to accept the fact that the real wrong is done by the person who's abusing perhaps his authority, the person who is creating a workplace environment which is wrong. The same bank that we're talking about just a few weeks earlier released, I don't know what it was, but they released a statement saying, a notification saying that all female workers, staff at their particular bank are now required to wear a hijab. Hey, nothing wrong with the hijab, but it shows you that there was a problem in the institution that perhaps the HR and the senior people or senior management knew about. And what was their solution? Oh, let's get the women to wear hijab. Really, seriously, that's your solution to the problem. We've got sexual harassment at work. We've got people groping women left, right, and center at a workplace, and our solution is get the women to wear hijab. Wow, amazing. And I think what has happened now should give you an idea. The question is not who recorded this, what the lady was doing. The question is that once it happened, this particular case went viral. Suddenly, the bank gives another statement saying, this is a one-off instance. The person is not a manager. Um, Pathetic. And this has nothing to do with one bank. It's overall a lot of organizations in our country that have a long way to go. And it's not just the organizations, it's us. We have to get over the mentality of blaming the victim. We have to understand that being an Islamic country, being a country that has a history of morals and values, and where we fought with other nations based on those principles and those values, where are we going to? Honestly, where are we going? Last couple of months with the rape cases, with child marriages and this and that. I don't know if this has been only come to people's knowledge now. This has been going on for a long time. It's good that it's being reported now, but at the same time, people who turn their faces in discussing, oh, these people, reporters, they only report the bad things. And that's not the real reality. There are a lot of other topics that I'd like to touch on, but right now, this is the main thing. The government has policies, there are frameworks in place to help organizations make very strong and responsive actions to be proactive in dealing with this kind of a situation. Believe it or not, if you have a couple of instances in a company where this particular kind of action was given zero tolerance and action was taken, nobody else would dare do it. It is not the goodness of heart of people that's going to change anything. It's the strictness and the actual applicability of the law that's going to change the people. So I hope that this message goes out, and I hope that you agree with me. Even if you don't, I really don't care. This is what I think and I believe in. We as a society need to stop blaming the victim, and we need to concentrate on how to make our workplaces safer practically. And all of that does lie in the strength of the HR department, and the HR department needs to take this very seriously. So thank you, and thank you for listening to me.